What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of The Rental, the newest and first film from director-actor Dave Franco. Before we begin, if you like this channel, subscribe to it. It's Movie Emporium. It's a great channel about movie reviews and whatnot. If you like this video, awesome. If you like this channel, awesome as well. Hit the like button. If you dislike it, it is what it is. Also, hit that notification bell at the top. You know, there are videos that come out in the future pretty regularly, so check it out. Also, comment below on any video you watch, including this one. So, Dave Franco, similar to like his big brother James Franco, has been in acting for quite a while now. He's basically built a pretty deep career for himself, has a pretty nice filmography. So, like his big brother, he decided to go into directing. You know, James Franco did stuff like The Disaster Artist, gained some acclaim through that. And so Dave Franco's like, hey, I'm going to direct a movie. It's not exactly what he said, but he's like, hey, I'm going to direct a movie. You know what? I'm going to direct a horror film. And I'm going to get this amazing cast in it. And you know what? The cast is pretty incredible. It's a lot of pretty up-and-coming actors that have done a lot of actually pretty decent work in the last few years. We got, you know, of course, Dan Stevens. We got Alison Brie. We got Sheila, and we got Jeremy Allen White. And this is how you know you have become a director as well as an actor that can gain talent, because you can get people like these in your movie for a pretty decent price. You know, this movie I'm sure was not that expensive. It's probably $2 or $3, maybe $5-10 million, somewhere around there. And it's a movie that is a very standard horror film that does very standard stuff, but it's a movie because of the talent. It could give it some credibility for being an interesting project, even though the materials, stuff you've seen, because it's about a bunch of people who go to a certain place, this place a rental house, and through a certain incident they discover cameras in the house, and they suspect that it's the renter that's doing the filmography of this house, and they're trying to get the footage back based off the incidents happening in this movie, which I'm not going to spoil for you. And so with that said, very familiar premise. You've seen it before. Look at Vacancy and stuff like that. So being that excited, when I watched this movie, I'm like, man, you know what? That last half of the movie, about the last 40 minutes of the movie, that was pretty top-notch stuff. That was from a director that seems like they're on the top of their game. It was excellent. It was thrilling. It was scary. It was intense. Yeah, some of the stuff, the tropes were very familiar. But if you can handle the tropes and do your own spin and create your own material with it, you can create something fun and energetic, and that's exactly what Dave Franco did here. But what you're missing, what you're wondering is, why isn't he talking about the first half of the movie? Because the first half of the movie sucks. The first half of the movie is boring and sluggish and doesn't have any purpose. It just feels like a lot of just following people around as they talk. I mean, you could have thrown this into a romantic comedy and just been just fine. But it doesn't make it a bad movie, because the actors in the movie are actually pretty decent and they're entertaining to watch, so it does help that portion of the movie. It just feels like when it comes to an 88-minute horror film, you have to get to the central plot quickly, which this movie doesn't. It takes 20 minutes to get to the actual central plot of this movie. You know, there's a little bit of, you know, the stuff we're dealing with, you know, minorities and stuff like that, you know, kind of a racist white guy in the beginning of this movie. And then it just kind of just follows people around as they do whatever they do. Like I said, they do drugs and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. This is real bad. But thank God for that last half, because it really did help. I mean, you look at stuff like Cabin in the Woods, or a movie called Frozen, which is, I'm not talking about the Disney movie. I'm talking about the horror film that had Shawn Ashmore in it, where they were stuck in the ski lift with a bunch of wolves and stuff like that. If you haven't seen that movie, it's terrifying. Definitely watch it if you like horror films. But I'm like, they got through their central plot pretty quickly, especially in Cabin in the Woods. I mean, they were seeding that central plot as the movie started, and it's pretty spectacular. I love that movie to death. But this movie just didn't know where it was going for the first 40 minutes of this movie. We're already halfway through this movie, and it had no idea its like kind of central core of what it wanted to be. But man, like I said, when it kicks into high gear, when it gets to that, you know, eventual conclusion, the eventual reasoning for why everything's happening, it feels like a different movie. And I give Dave Franco a lot of credit. He did a really nice job filming this movie, using a cinematography and a cinematographer in a very interesting way. When the shots of whatever's happening, little stuff that gets revealed, it's very well shot. There's a lot of low light stuff. There's a lot of fog going on. There's just a lot of eeriness to it. It's very of the Evil Dead nature, where you see something, but you don't know if you see it, or when you eventually see it, it's like, oh my God, that is insane. When things do start ramping up, you're just like, oh my God, this feels like just a movie I could just watch for, you know, an hour and a half. It's just so exciting. And I don't know, I just felt like it could have been so much more. It could have been so much more entertaining if it just dropped the first half and just been a 40-minute, horror film. I think it could have been much more exciting with these actors. I think it could have been much more exciting. But the cast, like I said, they're pretty good. I like what Dan Stevens is doing here. Alison Brie's always been good. Jeremy Allen White was really good in Shameless, so he's pretty decent here. He's probably like the weak link, but he's still good. Sheila Vand of course, was in Snowpiercer, which I talked about just recently, and she's good. Yeah, she's fun. It's just an all well-rounded cast that does a pretty good job. And like I said, the eventual conclusion, which I'm trying not to spoil, is unique and horrifying and scary in a lot of ways. And that's just what makes horror good in its own right, because you don't want that to happen to you. It scares you. Horror is just, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. It's supposed to make you feel horrified, and it's supposed to give you a good basically nightmare when you go to sleep. So, but for Dave Franco's first effort, and similar to the director of Amulet's first effort, is very rough around the edges, but you can really see the talent behind the screen. You can see the talent up on screen, the look and feel up on screen, and I'm really excited to see what Dave Franco is going to do next. I think he's a very talented director, and I think this was just a first-time effort that just wasn't 100% there. So, but yeah, there you go. That's my take on The Rental. Thank you so much for watching. If you do rent this movie, which of course is on Vudu, iTunes, whatever streaming service that you rent from, let me know in the comments below what you think of the movie. Try not to spoil it. People do want to watch the movie that have not seen it yet. Also, if you like my channel, which is Movie Emporium, hit that subscribe button. It'd be really cool of you. Also, like or dislike this video depending on what you think of it, and hit the notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. Otherwise, see you guys on the next video. Peace out.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.